morning, everybody. This is Dave with Nomadic e-biking adventures. And today is Friday. Friday the 7th of February 2025. And we are in Venice, Florida. And we're at a house sitting here for a few days. And today we're going to head down to the drawbridge where we crossed over yesterday by the Legacy Trail, also known as, I think at the beginning of that bridge, it's the Venetian Way Park Trail. So we're about 10 miles away from that. So that's going to be our little route for today. Should be real nice. This is a brand new subdivision here in Venice. In a little bit we'll pick up a bike lane. I'm going on memory here. So I want to do a little topic here. 10 things I wish I knew before buying my e-bike. And we'll start it off here with numero uno. Numero uno, choosing the right e-bike for your needs. Choosing the right e-bike for your needs. This has got a brand new golf course in there. So that's another tip for you. Well, let's go over the weather conditions. Right now, I believe it's 67 degrees. Nice and cool at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. This should be about a 2-hour ride. Boy, was I off. I don't know. I must have taken a wrong turn or something. See, I turned left here. I was supposed to have turned right at my street, and I was supposed to turn left. Alright, now we're on the right page. So yeah, I've had my bike now. I'm approaching 5,000 miles in about a year. Let's see, almost a year and a half. So over the course of the next few videos, I'm going to kind of relay some real life experiences, what my thoughts are, how I work to make this work for me, and I'm glad I did. I mean, I really enjoyed getting into being an e-biker. There's so much new areas and conditions that I experience. It's been enjoyable and frustrating at the same time, and I'll go over that probably in another video and stuff. But first of all, I'm going to just step back to the 10 things I wish I knew before I got an e-bike. So the first one I got down is choosing the right e-bike for your needs. Now, coming up to another corner here, I'm sure I'm turning. Oh, see, I would have made that mistake again. I was going to turn right, and I need to turn left. So, let's see. So as you know, there's a ton of different e-bikes out on the market right now, and each one has its own bells and whistles. Each one boasts that they're the best, and they're probably true. When I got into this, I basically didn't know anything, and I wanted to get something for myself that I could use in my day-to-day dealings as a traveling nomad doing house sitting. And of course, I love the idea of the folding e-bike. And the folding e-bike is not that bad. This particular bike with the battery inside weighs about 55 pounds. I take the battery out. Battery weighs about 7.5 pounds. So that brings you under 50 pounds to lift it in the folded position and put it in your trunk. So that was one of the prerequisites for myself. I mean, they do make trailer hitches, but my particular car doesn't have a trailer hitch. Plus it would lend itself, if I'm traveling, if I run into a rainstorm, getting it all wet. So yeah, it wasn't going to be a good situation to do in that way. Plus it's just more vulnerable as you're a traveler. So the folding e-bike was the way that I was going to go. I'm going to check my map here, make sure we're going the right way. Here's the first crossover. They got an aisle separating there to get through a vacant lot. Obviously, it's going to be some construction coming in here, but we're going to go through this roundabout here and go off to the right. But yeah, it's a beautiful day today. So yeah, going on getting that e-bike that you want. I mean, I went for the beginner, budget-friendly e-bike, And I got my bike, let me see the total cost on it. Watch out there. Man, I thought that vulture was going to run right into me. Total cost for my bike was, with tax and everything, was just under $1,000. And like I say, there's other ones out there with bigger batteries, but they're heavier, different brake system on it. They might have a hydraulic brake. Mine are just standard, which is fine. Depends if you're going to be taking your bike on pavements just like this, or are you going to be going off-road. So a lot depends on your use. I mean, my particular reason to getting it, I think I told you guys a story, but I was setting out trail cameras, and I do have another YouTube channel, Nomadic Trail Cams, which I kind of do the same thing. Is when I go traveling and stuff, if I'm going to be in the area for a while or coming back, I set out trail cameras to capture wildlife, and I've been doing that now for about 5 years, so it's been a real nice, you know, same deal and everything, so I really enjoy it. But that was the reason I got it, because I set out a trail camera in a national forest, and the day that I set it out, I'll just check keep on going straight. So I set the trail camera out. They had a gate that was open, so I just drove through there to go explore, and I found a nice place to set up my trail camera. And the next week I came back to check on it, and the gate was closed, and I had set my camera up about 4 miles in. And so at the time I was not going to go walk 4 miles in and 4 miles back to the parking lot where I parked my car. So I looked for an alternative to get back on that location. But this is a real nice bike lane. I mean, it's very, like I say, this is a brand new subdivision. It's only about, it looks like another bike trail that way. Yeah, it goes around this little lake, it looks like. Morning. Very nice setup. No golf carts. Some of that, it looks like it's kind of a gravelly road. Maybe they're gonna pave it eventually. Oh shit, they got it turning. But we don't have to turn. It's the firehouse. So we got some road maintenance here. So let's go to my number 2 reason I wish I had known before I bought my e-bike. was the battery life and the range. Now, the e-bike manufacturers love to blow smoke. They'll tell you, yeah, you can get this many miles on it, and unless you're a tiny little guy with a 40-mile wind on your back and on a full charge brand new battery, it's never going to happen. Now for myself, when I first started, I was maxing out the bike. I was pretty close to, this looks like the place I'm going to have to cross over if I want to get on that other trail over there. So yeah, the battery is a big deal, and if you're in colder climates, the cold does affect battery life. But if you're going to be in a place like Florida, you shouldn't have an issue with it. But getting back on what the manufacturer tells you, on this particular bike, I've got a 10 amp hour battery. They were telling me that you could get up to 60 miles on a battery charge. That's a bunch of BS. At the beginning, I was getting maybe 25 at the most, and that was only 1 or 2 times. So, you know, my best on a brand new battery was only 20-25 miles. Now, this battery that I got is my original one, the one I got in right now. And I'm going to turn my battery off since we're sitting here idling. We've been getting an average of about 11 and a half miles now. So there's definitely a battery decreasing. So, cost of a battery is going to be one thing that you're going to be looking to do. And I got a second battery. To extend my life, because the one thing that you got is limited range on a full charge battery. So then the other thing that I always also liked about this bike that I got is that it's got a removable battery. The reason that I wish I knew was the weight and the transport of the e-bike. Transportability. So obviously the e-bikes are much heavier than a standard bike, so you have to take that consideration in mind. But like I mentioned before, this is my particular e-bike with the battery in it. Weighs 55 pounds. If you take off the battery, 7.5 pounds. So that's another reason I wanted to get a battery that can be removed, making the bike a little lighter to pick up and put it in your trunk or in your SUV or your truck. 50 pounds is it's amazing what 7.5 pounds of battery lifting it feels like. I'm going to jump over here. So a folding e-bike is more manageable, and it allows you, if you had a one fixed battery, it allows you to switch out batteries if you got a second battery like I do, and it extends your life. Well, I tell you, this side of the highway does not have a very nice trail to it. I mean, look at this, it just ends again. Oh. So, and I know it's because of new construction. The other side is much better, so we're going to have a better ride on the way back. So yeah, the total weight of your bike, I mean, I've heard of some bikes weighing close to 100 pounds at the bike itself. And if you get into the trikes are pretty, I don't know if they're a very good solution for using a trike. So, number 4, things I wish I knew before I bought my e-bike, is that comfort matters more than you think. Now the standard bike seat that they give you is not user friendly, if you know what I mean. So that is probably one of the first things to get replaced. And then you want to customize your bike to your particular preference. So the other thing is, being a senior, one thing you want to look for is a bike that has a step-through frame. It makes the mounting and dismounting and coming to stops like I'm having right now, it makes it that much more easier than if you had a high step over frame to it. Now, suspension is it all depends on the bike that you're going to get. Suspension on these bikes is getting better and better. It's coming more standard. So depending on the type of bike that you get, they might have some really nice features built into it where you don't have to worry about comfortable. And other thing that you want to customize on your bike, and I definitely suggest doing this, is getting a rear view mirror like I've got here to see traffic coming up behind you. other things that I've done to my bike through trial and error is, of course, you need to have a cell phone holder. Because so many things are app related, and you need your phone just in case you break down, to call somebody, call an Uber. One thing that I've done now with my e-bike is put a charger on it. I've got this 3-in-1 charger that I used when I was Ubering, and I love it. It's got 3 different charging ports available. Because battery life is one thing that you need when going out on the extended trips. And we're at 9.1 miles right now, 36 minutes, so this should be a little interesting. My second battery I got, I mean, I'm still getting about over 20 miles, so we're still good there. But my goal is to get down to the drawbridge. And let me see where we're sitting with that. Should be interesting. So number 5 of things I wish I knew before I bought an e-bike. Is the pedal assist versus the throttle. Pedal assist, if you're new to e-biking, is the amount of power that your motor puts out. After 5,000 miles, I'm still kind of going back and forth with my pedal assist. When I first started, I just had that thing on full throttle all the time. But as you learn that a lower pedal assist will save on battery life. And higher will give you much more faster. Let's see here. So yeah, your pedal assist can help or it can hurt you. Just all depends on what you're going to use with it. 10.4. Let's see if we can get one more mile out of this. And this is going back to, this is my original battery. All right. Well, I calculated it's about 2 miles to the drawbridge. gone 11 miles so far, so that's 11, 12, so 11 back, that's 11, 12, 14. So we need to get 14 miles out of this second battery. See what I mean about using your battery wisely. So let's go to number 6 reason I wish I knew. There's the cost of the ownership goes beyond the purchase price. And I talked about how you want to customize your bike. You want to put mirrors on, lights, have a lock. My bike came with a rear bike rack as part of a promotional deal. So that was worth probably $100 or so. And the other thing that you need to remember is get a emergency pack. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've had plenty of emergencies on this bike. I think I really have to go back and see, but I think I've changed my rear tire out 14 times with flats. So you have to be prepared to make repairs while you're out on the road. Because there's nothing more frustrating than being out on the road and getting a flat, or I've had some other issues with my derailleur coming apart, which basically prevents you from pedaling to help conserve battery. Now, one of the other things I should have kept with me is my charger that I use my batteries, just in case I do run out of battery. I can stop at a place that has an outlet and charge one of my batteries if I need to. Oh boy. Hi there. Hola. Hola. Yeah, so this is where we were yesterday, coming on the Venetian Way park trail. So we're going to be going down underneath the bridge, come back up on the other side. See, this is a hairpin turn here. And then we're going under the bridge, and we're coming up on the other side. So this is our halfway point. Now granted, we're not going to be doing a lot of our detours, but we're sitting at 13.3. So that puts our trip at a potential 26 miles. And I wanted to make it back to here before I changed out my battery, and we almost made it. So now that's a fat tire e-bike. So now we're up on the other side, safely crossed over. So we need to get 13.5 miles out of this battery at the high. It's probably more like 12 miles, which should be no problem. This light, we're going to jump on the see what this guy does. Oh, he's going straight. Okay, good. So with a fresh battery, you can really feel the difference. So some of the other things I was saying that you need to do is definitely you need to invest in a helmet. I've had one serious crash that probably saved a lot of injury for me. This is my Walmart. So a good hard hat or helmet is a must if you value riding again and again. So the other thing, items that you need to worry about, just like a car, you're going to run through tires. You're going to be replacing tires that wear down or they get blown out. I've had several tires that failed. that's another thing that I do is since I had a blowout, I always carry a spare inner tube and a spare tire. And the tire actually folds up or rolls up quite tight that it fits in my fanny pack. And the other thing that I carry in my fanny pack is a set of Allen wrenches, adjustable an adjustable wrench, screwdrivers, Phillips, flathead, and the other thing that I'm coming up on as an expense is replacing this original battery. Which on this particular model runs $300. And the other thing that I need to get is since my speedometer stopped working and Jason said it's the rear motor. My speedometer is working right now. It was 2 miles an hour, and just a second ago I was going 45. So there's something, the battery or the magnet that's inside the motor. I took the motor apart to see what that battery magnet was doing, and I found the problem. That battery, the magnet was not at a 90-degree angle where it was protruding out of the motor. So I said, well, that's got to be it. But I straightened it up, and that didn't fix it. So, in regards to that battery, this is it. Yeah, when you're riding a bike and you want to map out a trip, you do get range anxiety, like I'm getting. You're constantly trying to figure out, based on how much battery life you got, if you're going to make it back or not. And there's been a few times where I have not made it back. I think one was recently. It was only a half mile, but these bikes do not pedal as well as a regular bike with no power. It can be done, but it's very taxing on yourself. Now, let's see if we can go across here. Looks like you got a little fender bender going on. People just drive too fast around here, and it always catches up with them. I'm going to stop for a second and adjust my the squad car just pulled up. Adjust the seat. Came down just a little bit, it feels like. One thing you got to remember too when you ride these things is kind of get yourself into taking breaks. It just makes everything go a lot easier. 18 miles. Got a couple bikers coming up. Looks like 3 of them. Morning. So yeah, that was number 6. Number 6. It's number 7 is regarding maintenance and repairs. Like I say, a lot of this, if you're unfamiliar with it, it's going to be a slow process. One of my slow processes, I think the first time I had to replace my rear tire, I've always heard people saying that they're so freaked out, but it's really not that much different than a regular tire. The only thing is that you got to disconnect the power cable. And I do have a link in the description of how I change out my tire. First one can be a little scary for yourself, but trust me, after 14, I've got it from my first time was over an hour and a half, because you don't want to. You got to remember how to do it, how to disconnect, how to reconnect, and probably the most important thing is once you take the tire off, the rear tire off, making sure it goes back with the washers in the correct position. And I screwed up on a couple of mine that I didn't put it in there, and it when you set it in place, it doesn't line up. And your rotor, brake rotor, makes noises. So some of the maintenance deals that you gotta, especially if you start putting miles on, brake pads, easy peasy. And a lot of these repairs are already on YouTube, so you can easily search YouTube changing out brake pads. Simple. I thought it was going to be so complicated, but it's just a simple deal. Now what I did for my first year, after 1 year, is I took my my e-bike into a bike shop to have them go over everything. One thing I had noticed is my rear tire, because of all the flats, I was getting a lot of broken spokes. So spokes are the other item that you need to think about. I've got my spares now. I had ordered those. I had to make sure I was on the right one, the right thickness. I got that information from the manufacturer, so I've got a good supply of spokes, because it seems like every time I got a flat tire, I would be busting a spoke here and there. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. So I took it into a bike shop to have him go over it. I paid like $100 or so. Well worth it. They trued up the tire, They went over everything. Well worth it, because sometimes you miss something and they'll catch it for you. And the one thing they caught was my rear tire. My washer configuration was wrong, so they fixed it for me. So the other thing you gotta be considerate of is biking etiquette. Morning. They pull off to the side. They didn't really have to, but all right, down to 3 bars left. 19.3 miles. So that means we're about 5 miles left to the house. And once we get to the subdivision, which I think is the next light up there, maybe? That's 4 miles. I like the way this subdivision, and I think the one across the street did the same thing, is you go through this little gateway. So my step 7 is make sure you learn about bike maintenance. One of the other things that the bike shop caught on inspection was my chain was worn down. So they replaced it with a new chain. Which is good, because then you need to, if you got the tool to do it, you need to take off the master link and slide it on, and that's another tool that you have to buy. So I'm glad they caught that. And one of the other thing I was talking about with maintenance is your battery. Everybody was always concerned about batteries catching fire and whatnot, and usually if it has the right URL, not URL, but UL label on it, and some type of other rating on it, you should be good to go. I guess some of the earlier batteries didn't have a shut-off switch, and I was worried about how do I know if my battery is working like it should or turning off. But I haven't had any problem with mine. It's I basically when I plug my battery in, it turns the light on the battery pack turns red, and when it's charged it turns green, and I guess it doesn't charge it anymore. One thing I was going to say as far as batteries and charging it, if I remember right, somebody was saying that you should only have the battery charged to 75%. And I really don't know if that charging pack on that I use charges it up to 75%, or you know what voltage, because this is a 48 volt battery, and I know somebody was saying it charges it up to 52 or 53%. So I don't know if the battery is at 75% when the green light comes on, or what. All right, well, this is our entrance to turn in to the subdivision, which means we got about 4 miles, and we're sitting at 20.4 miles right now. So now we're going on the subdivision bike path back to the house. It's a brand new fire station. All right, so number 8 of 10 things I wish I knew before I bought my e-bike is a security and theft prevention that you have to think about. Now, the only time that I've used a locking system was there was a time in I forgot what state it was, but I got a flat tire, and I was close enough to I was in a public shopping center area, and I had a game camera rope lock that I used it, and that was kind of at a you know, a temporary lock. I mean, thieves are thieves. I mean, they see it, they can get it. So obviously, if you can prevent having to use a lock altogether when you're out and about, that's more the better. I mean, and there's a ton of locks on the market, so not a good place to stop, especially when I got a semi right on my ass. So the other thing that you should think about, and it's a very simple type of deal, is get a Apple AirTag. I've got an Apple AirTag on my bike here. They make little holders for the Apple AirTag that can stick right onto your bike. You can hide it in a inconspicuous place, and it'll give you, I'm sure they're not going to find it right away because they're just looking to snatch and run, but you'll be able to track it down through your app where it is. I use that all the time for a lot of stuff. So real easy. One thing to do if you're going to a shopping center and you lock it up, take your battery with you, or at least remove the key out of it. That way they can't get the motor started, and you'll be able to spot them if you if you come out, if you're going in and out of a place of business. You'll be able to spot up, because they'll probably give up on it because it's going to be too much of a hassle. They're looking for something that they can snatch and grab and you know, get off easy with. And the more harder you can make it for them, that's, you know, the more they're gonna pass it and go for an easier prey. If you're traveling, consider a solid way to lock it up. You know, get one heavier. You find yourself using it for going to the grocery store and whatnot. Get something real heavy duty. But if you are just biking all the time and don't stop, and you know, you might not have to worry about it. So that's that. And then number 9, the real world of speed and handling. Now, I'm doing 16.5 miles an hour right now. I figure this is very comfortable. I can do this and that. I mean, there's other bikes out there that can do over 50 miles an hour. I just don't see a need for it. I mean, unless you're into that kind of stuff. Plus, the more it looks like a motorcycle and runs like a motorcycle, you're going to get more dirty looks and comments as you're biking. So you have to weigh those pros and cons of, you know, if you want a bike that goes that fast. The other thing is the real world of crashing. You do run a risk of crashes. There's no way about it. Now, most of your crashes that you're going to have are going to be real stupid crashes, you know, like coming to a stop and losing your balance and just falling over. Other ones are, I've never had it yet, but it's the one thing that you got to worry about is cars running into you or clipping you. I've never had that yet in my almost 5,000 miles, and I've got into some areas that were pretty interesting. So the faster you go, the longer your distance is to stop. So if you get a unexpected item, that a person or animal that comes in front of you, you're gonna have to stop pretty quick. So, and the one thing you gotta worry about is stopping early, brake early, so you can control your stop. So as far as tires on your bike, mine are 20 by 3. They're pretty maneuverable, and there's other tires out there that are 20 by 4, which I hear are just a little bit harder to control. And then you can go all the way up to a 26 inch, which feels more like a regular bike. So it all depends on the type of bike that you go with and the tire size. So tire size is a big deal when you have to go out and about. And number 10, finally, huh? The e-bike smile is real. E-bikes make cycling accessible for seniors, those with injuries, people that need a little extra boost. So the e-bikes allow you the flexibility to go explore. I mean, since I've had this e-bike, I mean, I do so much traveling, you know, like normally I wouldn't even be stop doing this if I didn't have the need for it. So it helps you go a lot farther. I mean, I really didn't know if we were going to make that drawbridge today. We're sitting at 23 miles right now, and probably less than a mile to the house. And I got 2 bars left on this battery. 2 bars on this battery should give me about 10 miles, I think. But once you get an e-bike, boy, you're gonna love it. It's just gonna be a great thing. I mean, especially exploring. I love to explore new places. You know, I get this out and about. In fact, I'm gonna stop here for a second and plug my last battery in on my e-bike. All right. Well, we're almost back to the house here, so we made it. And you'll find yourself setting goals for yourself. Let me know what items, if you already have an e-bike, what items you feel are a must-have for your particular situation. You know, like I say, for me, it was budget. I mean, I was hearing prices of some of these bikes are $2,000. For that, I can get something else. But I wanted something that was budget friendly to just get me in the market. And now that I've been here for a while, e-biking, it gives me the opportunity to go out and about, learn from my experience. So if I want to upgrade, which I'm kind of thinking about, I know what kind of items to incorporate into my selection of e-bike for the future. So anyways, that was a nice little trip over to the intercoastal drawbridge where we were yesterday. And as you can see, boy, this place is just, I believe these are going to be apartments. Look at this little e-bike. That's a little mini. Hi, done. So you can see more and more seniors are getting into e-biking. It's a really nice mode of transportation. I think of a lot of it's a lot nicer than regular, even getting a golf cart. But anyways, I appreciate you coming along and listening to my 10 things I wish I knew before I got an e-bike. Until next time, adios.